I want to share with you what have been my strategies for honestly just being happier, but in the case of this video, removing distractions so that you can enter flow state easily. Um, Really, two simple things. How do you get rid of the things in your life that are distracting you? And how do you focus more on the things that matter? For me, this has been the highest leverage thing for my happiness, honestly. So if you don't know anything about me, which I'm assuming is most people who are watching this video, I used to run a somewhat successful marketing agency, but I just hated my life, to be very transparent with you. I just feel like I couldn't focus. I was constantly switching from one thing to another. And it wasn't necessarily the business I was running, it was more so like the person that I was. I was constantly distracted. I always had stress, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. And so I made some pretty drastic changes to where at this point, like I'm a full-time artist. I make videos, clothing, I write, and I just have a super simple life. I wake up, I do what I want all day. This is my calendar. Vastly different from what it was before. But I would just characterize my life before and after in two pretty simple images. Before, this is really the amalgamation. It's a big word there, but this is really what defines distraction. You're going in a million different directions. You never end up actually getting what you're going after. You're just distracted. You're taken a million directions by different things. When you're focused, when you're in flow, like when your life is in flow state, you just like progress slowly towards the thing that you're after, and you don't give in to the distractions and desires that other people throw on you. So I guess the bottom line is I've spent a lot of time optimizing for flow state. If you know anything about the science behind flow, it's actually like scientifically the peak happiness that a human can feel, like when they're in flow state, when the basketball player is shooting the basketball, or when the business leader is working on his business, like that's genuinely the happiest that you can feel. And so obviously it's important to optimize for that. So I kind of just want to talk about like what I actually do, what do I do on a day-to-day basis, and then try to give you some like things that you can implement into your life that you can do to, again, do these two things: remove distraction, enter flow. I would characterize them as like two massive paradigm shifts that you need to make just to be happier. Like getting rid of the bad stuff and adding more good stuff. If you think about it like that, then I think you're on the right track. But first, I have an important point to make. The message that I want to share on this channel is this: you are here to create something incredible, important, impactful. That is what you are here for. And I want to say it in a million different ways. Obviously, today's video is more like, here's actually how you do it. But this is the message that I want to share. It's what I really feel passionate about, and it's what I think the world needs to hear. You're here to create something. You're not here to just sit and do nothing and watch videos and not add anything to the world. I think you're here to do something. I think we're all here to do something. And I just want to share that in as many ways as I can. So to get into the video, like what actually this is, I want to start by talking about my real day-to-day, what I actually do to remove distractions, find flow, all that kind of stuff. But first, two prefaces. I'm going to go into some pretty small details here. The details don't really matter. I just want to tell you my routine, and then after, give you the high leverage activities from it. I'll explain those later, but I'm going to go minute by minute through my day. And the second thing, which I think is an important thing to highlight as well, I'm optimizing for flow state. I'm not optimizing for work output or cash collected or social status or gym gains or whatever other thing that you might be optimizing for. I am optimizing for flow state. So there might be certain things that I do that might hurt my gym gains or might hurt my cash collected. Here's how I want you to think about it though, right? Flow state is the end goal. Like that is what we're all striving for. The reason that you want more work output or more cash collected or more social status or more gym gains or whatever it is that you're after, the reason that you want that is because you are seeking flow state. So I am right now optimizing to make my life flow state because that's the end goal. That's what we're all after. So ultimately, I just think like if you can shortcut that by focusing on it, then that's an important thing. And just so we're clear about what flow is, um, flow is that place where you just lose track of time. You're so immersed, obsessed with what you're doing that honestly, like it's been described like this. When you're in flow state, you don't even feel happy because happiness is a distraction. You're so focused on what you're doing that nothing can pull you away from it. Like when I'm filming right now, when I'm talking about this, when I'm talking from my soul, like that is flow state. And so optimizing for the things that put you into that. For the basketball player, it's optimizing for the big game. It's optimizing for practice. Like there's some science behind flow, but the idea is what puts you in flow state, and like let's optimize for that. So going through the schedule, you're going to see some pretty interesting things here. Rough estimates as far as time go, but I've been pretty disciplined recently. I picked up the meditation habit, and now I'm like tripling down on it. I want to get really good at it. So I do an hour and a half meditation in the morning. Wake up at about 4, take a quick cold shower, sit down and meditate. And by about 6 o'clock, I'm done. And that's really been like, if there's one thing that has changed my life the most, it is meditation. I genuinely, there is no downside to it. When I first started, I thought it was like really intimidating to do an hour and a half in the morning. Like, that's crazy. How do you do that? But honestly, if you just like throw yourself into it, you just see so many positive things. Like, you're more focused, you're happier. You just like, you'll see things and you'll be like, why did I even think about that before? Meditation is the highest ROI activity that I could even talk about, and I'll explain more later. But that's what I start my day with. Then I go and I read. Right now, I'm starting my day with like studying meditation lessons from a guru, a Hindu guru. I'm like reading all his like work on meditation. But I'll read. I'll journal a little bit. I'll have a coffee, and then I'm entering work, which for me is just play. Like I'm writing, I'm designing. Right now I'm working on writing a thesis that kind of summarizes all my ideas about creativity, building a fashion label, and then making these videos. Like this is my life. I do these things pretty much. That's it. Like I meditate, read, and do this. Create cool things. I'll take a break and eat like a pretty clean breakfast, eggs, sourdough, fruit, like pretty simple. I'm a big egg guy. Eggs are good. But then I'm into exercise. Like I've been trying to cut my workouts down a little bit, keep the like heart rate up a little bit higher, so that way I can get back into working a little bit. I'll read for an hour, I'll work a little bit more, a couple hours, have dinner, read a little bit, finish the day with an hour and a half meditation. In total, I'm doing about 3 hours of meditation, 2 hours of reading, 6 hours of work, which again, to me is just play, and an hour of exercise. Again, all this stuff is like dumb details, don't matter. The important thing is my life is flow. Like I literally don't do anything that I don't want to do. And that's like one of the important things here. Like I only do the essential things. Like I meditate, read, work, and what's this? Exercise. Like I genuinely, I don't really do anything else. I'm not like mowing the lawn. Like I'd probably, I haven't had to mow the lawn in a couple weeks, but if I have to, I'd probably just pay somebody to do it. Cause it's just like, I don't want to get out of flow state. I eat clean. I have a clean room. My setup is optimized for me to work and get in flow state. Like honestly, like it really just takes, you just have to put emphasis on it, right? You have to put emphasis on, I am only going to do the things that matter to me. Like when you make that decision and you say like, I'm only doing the things that matter, the 20% that lead to 80% of the results. Like I'm only doing the very few things that matter. And when you have that mindset, you just cut things out like crazy. I've stopped watching YouTube. I've stopped watching YouTube. I've stopped watching Instagram. I don't watch Netflix, anything like that. Like I'm not really consuming anything online. Like most people would think that my life is boring, but I love it. I'm doing what I want all day. I'm in flow state. I think like all of this, it kind of just leads to one thing, right? I'm only ever thinking about creating things. I'm only ever thinking about the work projects, again, the fashion label, the thesis I'm writing. I'm only thinking about those things. And honestly, just like, I'm just happy. Like I don't have negative thoughts. I don't have like, oh no, what am I going to do tomorrow? Blah, 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 blah. I'm just so immersed in life that I'm happy. And I think honestly the only reason that I can do this is because, and I said this before, like I have a low information diet. I don't consume things. I don't watch the news. I don't do those things. They're distractions. They take me out of flow state. I'm not going to do it. So when I say remove distractions, this is a big part of it. Like you got to cut down on what you're consuming online specifically. This kind of comes to the point of the video again, like remove distractions, enter flow. The most important thing for flow state is to remove distractions. When you remove all of the distractions, all that is left is flow. Like when you're not checking your phone, you're just working. So then if you're never getting away from the working, then you're always working. And if working is playing, then you're always playing, if that makes sense. Again, the distractions is just everything that is not the flow state, is not the focus. Like if your flow state is business, then everything but the business is a distraction. If your flow state is your family and you're like a mom or a dad, like that's your flow state. Anything that takes you away from that is a distraction. Athlete, same thing goes. Like anything that takes you away, distracts you from the flow state, you got to remove. Like for almost anyone, it means social media, TV, junk food, sitting around doing nothing, talking to someone and both of you don't care what you're talking about. Like anything that's like low vibration, just cut it out. Like it's a distraction. It's taking you away from the happiest thing that you could be doing. So here's how I would say, here's how you can tell if you have a lot of distractions, right? Going back to that first image, are you this? Are you going in a million directions? Like, are you picking a goal and then going on a million side quests? Or are you just like, okay, no, I'm going to write this book. And then you just like, all you do is write like all day. Like obviously like one extreme and the other, right? Like you don't want to be the guy who literally does nothing but the thing. But honestly, like this is how you tell. Which one are you? Are you the person that is focused or are you not? You can tell, okay? You know whether you have brain fog, whether your brain's in a million directions. I can tell it myself when I'm off. This is what you should be striving for. This makes life good. This is fun. This is fun. Like you think the side quests are fun. You think the million things are fun. Like having 3 or 4 things that you really care about and just doing them all day, that is fun, in my opinion. So I want you to think about it like this, right? When it comes to flow and distraction, attention is the thing that you're trading. Like, are you letting your attention go to a million different things or are you focusing that attention on the flow state? So in that case, attention is like the currency that you're using. It's the most valuable thing in general. Like this is a cliche Instagram statement. Attention is the most valuable currency, but it's important. So I want you to think about this. How many things are asking for your attention? How many times a day is your phone buzzing? How many people are asking you to come here and do this and do that when you kind of don't want to do it, but then you just do it anyways because they're asking you and whatever, right? Like your time doesn't matter that much. How many things are grabbing your attention? In today's world, the answer is an infinite amount, but you want to cut those down. This is an interesting stat that I read a couple years ago and just like has stuck with me. Every time you pick up your phone, my phone's not even on the table. Every time you pick up your phone, check it, notification goes off. It takes 15 minutes to get back into flow state or get back into focus, right? Most people's phone is going off every like 2 or 3 minutes. So they're literally never getting into flow state. Think about that. Like every time you go outside, go to the bathroom, take the dog for a walk, do this, do that, do this. Like it's 15 minutes to get back into flow state. So if you're never in flow because you're always getting distractions, it's just like you have to cut out the distractions. It's like an essential part of flow state. So going on to the prescriptions, I know I said I would talk about this. What are the things that you can actually do, put in your life, implement to make it better, get more flow? I'm going to give you a couple, like probably the highest leverage things that I've added. I said this before, but journaling and meditation are like, you have, the idea is you have to have the right internal environment for flow. Like you have to be centered internally. You have to have clarity. You can't have a million things going on in your head. So what are the best things to help you calm the mind? Meditation and then journaling, writing down your thoughts. Writing down your thoughts and then sitting and meditating and letting go of the thoughts that don't matter. I meditate a little bit differently. I'm consciously thinking about things, but the idea is you know that you could be meditating. You know that it would be a really high ROI thing that you could do that would improve your happiness, your clarity, everything. Do it. And I would honestly say, like, if you're not doing 30 minutes a day, like, you're just not trying. You can find 30 minutes in the day. Everyone can. This is a really good point I want to make. So if you knew that there was this black pill, that you could take this black pill and you'd be happier, you'd be less stressed, you'd be healthier, you'd sleep better, everything in your life would improve. Like your relationships would do better, your work would do better, everything across the board would improve. Would you take the pill? Well, that literally is meditation. Like scientifically, this is a scientific thing. Like it improves everything. There's not like a metric that doing it doesn't improve. People who meditate, this is a good point as well. People who meditate more than 4 hours a day, which is obviously crazy. That's a lot of meditation. But people who do that are on average 4 standard deviations above the mean in happiness. And if you're not a math person, what that means is that they're happier than like 99.99997% of people. The average one is. I mean, that should say something. So I would say, obviously, the first thing is focus on internal clarity. Do the things that help you gain internal clarity. For me, it's meditating and journaling. It's why I do it first thing in the morning. Figure out for you what that thing is to gain internal clarity and prioritize it. Make sure that you do it every day. The second thing is, like, once you have the internal in check and you're focused and you have a clear sense of direction, you want the outside environment to support you in focus. You don't want to set up your workstation in a train station where there's a million people walking by. That's like an obvious example, right? At a minimum, things that you can do to change your external environment: limit your screen time, download a screen blocker. Like, you have to limit your consumption of brain rot TikTok videos. Like, you have to download a screen time blocker, cut your time down on social media, eat cleaner food. Like, it's a big thing. You'll notice when you eat clean, you focus more. Eat clean, and like make the place that you work easy to work in. Put stuff up on the wall that inspires you. Like, make it at a good temperature, have a good chair, like make it easy to work. Very simple, but it's like a really big remedy that you can do. So I would just think about these two things, like internal, external. How do we optimize both so that we can get into flow state better? I think the main point that I'm trying to make in this video is that in general, we all need to switch from this paradigm of consumption, of always wanting to consume things, to a paradigm of creation. When you make that switch, naturally, you stop consuming things. The amount of things that you watch goes down. The amount of bad food you eat goes down. Like, your distractions go down and you focus more. You go into flow state more, because in order to create, you have to be in flow state. Like, the best work will only come when you're in flow state. And so, like, if this is the paradigm that I am trying to promote, this is a major thing. Like, I have to get people to realize you have to cut down distractions. You have to enter flow state, because consumption to creation is the biggest paradigm shift that you could ever do for your happiness. That's the main point of this video, at least. So please, like, listen to this. You're here to create something incredible. That's what I want to talk about on this channel. Like, that is really the point. You're here to make something incredible, and you got to be able to focus if you want to do that. You can't be watching The Sopranos and make the next Sistine Chapel. Like, you just can't do that. They're mutually exclusive things. So please take this advice, implement something. Do something to give yourself more clarity and make your external environment a little bit more supportive of your focus. In general, like, I just want to say this, tying it back to my life, like, making this change has been the most transformational thing I've ever done. I didn't say this in the beginning, but like, I was genuinely depressed, like, not even a couple months ago. And my life honestly is probably a little bit worse. Like, externally, like, I'm not making any money. I'm whatever, right? You'd probably think like my life is worse, but I am infinitely happier. I wake up every morning with a smile on my face. I wake up before my alarm at 4 a.m., ready to get to work, ready to sit down and meditate for an hour and a half and do this stuff because I love it, because it's what I'm passionate about. And I just think I am trying to live that ideal of flow state, of focus, of removing distractions, because it has changed my life so much, and I want to help you by helping you do that. So if this video did help you at all, if it gave you any new ideas, please, please, please leave a comment, like the video. You can reach out to me on Instagram. I respond to all my DMs. So like, if this was a helpful video, if I had good ideas, reach out to me. I'm like, would love to continue this conversation with someone. So please reach out. And yeah, I obviously hope you enjoyed and hope you took something away that you can add to your life to get into flow state, remove distractions, and ultimately create the work that you're here to create. Thank you. Appreciate it.